Creepy Cutie Crafty.
Hello and welcome back again to Creepy Cutie Crafty. Welcome back again to yet another crafting video with me, Mum. Hi there. I hope you've all had a fantastic Christmas and are looking forward to a great new year as well. Welcome back. So over the Christmas break I've come to a few decisions and I thought I'd let you know what's going to be going ahead of time. As you know, YouTube does not like creators who don't post regularly. But unfortunately for me, I have big projects like the sashiko, like the liner printing, all stuff like that that was big. So a long project that took 2 or 3 weeks to actually make the items, and then another week or two to do the editing, and then obviously got to promote it and things, and I do that all by myself. So unfortunately that means that I don't get to do a video every week. However, I want to try and change that. So from now on, rather than doing a complete project, then editing and then posting, I'm going to use my Mondays and Tuesdays to make stuff, to try stuff out, and then the rest of the week to edit whatever I've done in those first 2 days and then post it hopefully once a week. Rather than constantly waiting for videos, I'm just going to do whatever I'm doing in progress, like a work in progress video for you, plus chatter about what's going on in my life, what's going on with squinks, what's going on with crafting and other bits and pieces like that. And hopefully that means I'll be more regular with posting and I can get to see you guys a bit more often. Let me know down in the comments below, do you think that's going to work for you? Would you prefer me to do weekly updates, or would you prefer me to do long form videos and then post the finished results? At the end of the day, you're still going to get the same results from me, which is something being made and then something to show you at the end of it. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know. Let me know also what kind of crafting things have you got up to over Christmas for me and Squinks. So we did some baking and we did some house decorations and all sorts of things. Yeah, I'd love to hear from you. Right, so back to today's project. So these are the items that I've got here. These are all items for leathercraft. This stuff here is a nice big piece of veg tanned leather. I don't know how thick it is. I've never done this before, so I don't know the difference between the leathers. There's also some scraps here that are a lot thinner and a lot more flexible, and some of them have some really nice surface textures. I don't know if you can see that there. And some smoother ones down here as well. I've also got some nice ones off the side here with some metallic finishes and some darker finishes. I think it's going to be fun to have a go at. As I say, I've never done this before, so I'm just going to try a few things out and see how it works out for me. And hopefully, maybe in the future, I can have a go at a bigger project and try to make something a bit more substantial out of it. Leather crafting is something I've wanted to try for a long time. So with that in mind, I've bought myself a cheap leather crafting kit from online. Along with that, I've got my usual steel ruler here. And I've got some dividers so that, you know, the pointy ends can do some nice lines on it. I use that for all sorts of other things as well as for this. And I've got myself a little wooden mallet here that I also use for other projects and things at home. So I do have these things here which are used for punching stitch holes. You can see there. Basically, you punch them through the leather to create the holes. And of course, if I'm going to be punching through the leather or cutting with my trusty Stanley knife here, I'm going to need my cutting board, which is on the floor down beside me. I've also got various other bits and pieces here. Some of them are on the floor. They're sort of shaping punches, surface texture punches. And I've also got this, which is, I believe, called a swivel knife. And the idea with this one is it goes over your finger like this, and you can cut the shape as you go round, keeping that nice protective cover on it there. And I can't wait to have a go at this. Let me know down in the comments down there below. Have you had a go at doing any leather crafting yourself? What kind of things have you had a go at? I'd love to see them. Okay, so let's get on with it. Okay, so I've got various items here. This was also in the pack that I got. You can tell how old it is from the colour of the rubber band. And in here we've got all different punches. Everything's covered in a very fine layer of oil, so obviously it's to protect it. So yeah. I'm not going to get these all the way out because I don't get oil over with my hands, but you can see in there, got some like floral punches and a butterfly punch and a flower punch and some leaves and some surface textures, all sorts of interesting shapes and things that I'm going to have a go at later. But I'm going to leave them in there for a moment just so they don't get oil everywhere. You can see on here there's a bit of a mark from where I put those hole punches earlier. I don't mind that. There's also this, which I believe is for marking, like that. And I just got this single scrap of leather just to try things out so I can have an experiment and see how things go. I've been following a few leather makers, leather crafters online just to see how it works, and they all say you need to soak the leather in water, but they all have different lengths of time, so yay, clarity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some small squares of leather and try it to mark it with different wetting techniques and different lengths of time that they can soak in the water. So I've got a bowl of water just over there and a spong here, so I'm going to give things a try. Wish me luck. I'm going to go for a 3-inch strip, and that means I'll have plenty of leather on this side left over to try and do other things with. I'm not going to worry about it being exact, like I say, and we'll see. There we go. Cut nice and easy. I'm going to move this on the side so it's out of the way, and then as I've got my dividers, I'm going to use those. That's a bit too wide. Let's try and get it a bit narrower, get it back down to 3 inches. That's about there from the end. 1, 2, 3, and the last one is absolutely fine. I've got 4 pieces here. What I'm going to do with each of those, the first one I'm going to do without any water to see how it works. The second one I'm going to dab with water and then use it after 5 minutes of soaking. The next one I'm going to use dab of water, soak it in, leave it for 30 minutes, see how that works. And then the final one I'm going to actually leave in the water for 30 minutes. Now obviously I've got all these electrics around me. Wish me luck. Let's hope I don't electrocute myself. First one, I'm going to put it down here because that's all ready to go, because I ain't doing nothing with it. By the way, do you like my little cutting board here? It has been much abused and I definitely need to replace it. It still works though. Right, going to start soaking this in. That's soaking in definitely. Let's make sure it gets into all the corners. There we go, that's my 5-minute one. I don't know what I'm doing, guys, but you only learn through doing, don't you? And then finally the last one is just going to go straight into the water over there and see how we go. So there we go. Let's give it a go with this one, and I'm just going to use my swivel knife thing, doodah, I think that's the right word. Just try to make some marks. I mean, it's cutting. I don't know if it's cutting a pattern that is useful. The other thing I need to be aware of is, as you know, this is quite a shaky desk. Oh, that's cut almost completely through. So I have to be careful when I do hammering because it might send the items on my table flying. It's not really a very good work table because it is literally my dining table. Yep. So that's this swivel knife and that one. You can see the marks vary depending on how deeply I cut, and this one's cut almost all the way through. Can you see that? And there's some much lighter lines there. Interesting. And let's get some of these. I'm only going to get a couple of these ones out to see how they work. So we've got a flowery one there. We've got a teardrop shape there. What would you go for, guys? I'm going to go with that little tiny one there. And that one. See how that works. Yeah, we've got an awful lot of different punches there that I could use, but I'm just going to try with these ones and get a bit more experimental, maybe on a later date. So let's try with this little circle one first, and I've got my little wooden mallet here. You can see it's cut a little bit, but not very much. Let's try the next one. This is a much bigger one, so it's going to have a much wider spread, as you can see there. And that's done almost nothing. Nothing there again. Yeah. Let's try this teardrop shaped one. Not really done anything. And finally, this scallop shaped one. There's a little bit of a pattern there. Yeah, you can definitely see the smaller, tighter patterns are the ones that make the most impression. The bigger ones almost nothing. I think definitely will need soaking, so let's try it now with the 5 minutes of soaking over here. Going to use just a little piece of kitchen roll just to make sure the surface isn't wet and the back isn't wet either. There we go. Right then, swivel knife. There you can see it's cut straight through. I like the way it's drawing. It's basically marking out the lines, but not quite cutting through. Interesting. Right then, let's try with the teardrop shape there. You can see it's making more of an impression than the last time. And you can also hear all the reverberation going through the table. Like I say, it's not really built for this. Let's try with the flowery one. Let's see if this makes any more impression than it did last time. Yeah, you can see more of a pattern there, can't you? Again, it's not really cutting in, but it's still there. Let's see how that lasts when the leather dries. That's quite nice. I like that. Good for dragon scales and things like that, maybe. And there you go, look. That's much deeper cut. Okay. I'm going to leave that for a while. I'm going to come back in 10 minutes and do this one and see how it works. See you in a bit. Okay, so that was half an hour later. This one has been soaked in for half an hour. The surface is nice and dry now, but it does feel very much different to these two now. I'm interested to see how this is going to turn out. So, got my little swivel knife again. It's going through, but it's not actually cutting, so that's quite good. I'm probably doing this very, very wrong, but like I say, this is my first time ever giving it a go. Let's see how these ones go. Sorry, neighbours. Yeah, you can see it going down into the surface of the leather much more. Interesting. But that's much, much deeper. I'll put that over there for the moment. And finally, we've got my leather that's been soaking literally in the water for half an hour. So I'm going to have this ready. I'll bring it back over here. You can see some of the yellow dye has gone straight into the water. Yummy. And I'm going to just dry that out a bit so the surface is nice and dry. I'm guessing like this you can reform it and things as well. We shall see. I'm guessing the soak time is different depending on the thickness of the leather and things as well. We'll see. I will see anyway. I'm going to keep trying with these things and see what happens. Okay, swivel knife first. Even though I was doing that at an angle, that's basically cut through. And let's do a line. I'm not even pressing that hard on that one. Yeah, you can see the water sort of oozing out. So I'm going to have to be careful about not getting water on the tools. I'm sure you guys have got good techniques down about how to use your swivel knife. If you want to let me know how to do it properly, let me know in those comments down below. Right, so let's try with this one again. It's still not doing much. Yep, the water's coming out, but so is the pattern. It's quite nice. So if I did like dragon scales or something like that, that would work really quite well. Again, the water's just gushing straight out of the leather there. Yeah, interesting. But yeah, the water is definitely coming out onto the back there. Still not quite as deep as I'd like. I think I need a bit more practice in doing this. These are cheap try it out punches. If I was to do this seriously, I would probably have to pay 20 quid or more per punch. But I'm just trying it out, so let's give it a go. I'm going to put these away and then have a go at actually making something at the end of this. we are back again. Got some more of this leather and some of this leather as well. I'm gonna have a go at making a little square with the lattice and then put that on the back and try and sew them together. Again, I have never done this before. To sew this stuff, we've got this stuff here. It's cotton that's coated with wax, and there are some needles in the box I've got as well. I've got some other colours. I might try using a darker colour than that. Trying to think how I could use these as like patches for embroideries or for other things. And can you do embroidery on leather? I think you probably will be able to, but you'd have to punch out the holes first, wouldn't you? I guess that's something to experiment with in the future. On to the next bit. Sorry neighbours, there's going to be some more banging. Let's start with the single hole, which I'm going to do in the dead centre, right there. Let's see how easily this goes through, shall we? And straight through the thing underneath. So yeah, that's pretty clean cut. I think I may need to have this underneath to stitch together. Obviously I don't have any leather glue, so for now I'm just going to put this little scrap underneath and hope for the best. I'm going to use the longer punch with several punch holes, and you get your row of stitches there and there. I am going to have to hold these together when I stitch, but I don't mind that. Once this row is all stitched in place, then I can do the rest from new stitches. I have watched a few leather crafters online, and they say rather than using the one needle, you need to use two. We'll see how we go. Again, this is double wrapped because this is all waxy. You can see how waxy that is. Let's see how we do. And then with this, I'm just going to stitch through there, make it go back on itself, and then pull that tight, and ta-da! One needle ready to go. I'll do the same on the other end with this one. Okay, that one's going through, and I'm going to do the second one. I'm going to send that one back through there. That way it's a double row of stitching, just to make it nice and even. And this one goes the opposite direction. So pull that through, nice and tight. That seems nice and even. Let's keep going. Just do a little knot on the back. There we go, nice and tidy. And that's my first attempt at sewing leather. What I'll do is I'll do the rest of this off screen and tidy it up, and I'll get back to you later. See you in a bit. Okay, so we are back. I've had a go at doing this stitching. I think it's gone quite well. You can see where towards the end I got much better at doing the stitches from the same side, so they're nice and even there, whereas I started off from, they're a lot less even and a lot less clear. However, on the back it's a different story. I've not done too well with the knotting and things. I believe, from what I've seen, that you can just use a lighter to cut these back and then press them. It's definitely something I'm going to have to press that bit more first, but I think that looks really good. I almost definitely should have glued it down first, but such is life, we live and learn. And I also think it might have been a good idea if, rather than using two different size needles, I got two of the smaller needles, because this one tended to sort of split the leather as I sewed. I think what I'm going to do is just quickly trim this down. It's not the most amazing piece of leather crafting you're ever going to see, but you know what? It's the first piece I've ever made, and I'm quite pleased with that. Right, so getting another square of this. Now then, Let's mark the centre. Actually, no, because I'm going to need to soak this for a bit, aren't I? So I'm going to soak this for half an hour and then come back and have another go. See you in a bit. Okay, so this has been dampened for 30 minutes. So let's get on with it. I don't know I'm going to do this one. I think it's just going to be one of my usual circle patterns. I am done. I haven't done a huge amount with this one because, again, this is a very, very new craft for me. But I think I've done quite well. I've enjoyed doing the sort of layering effect you got here. But I definitely need to work out how to do the gluing because I haven't got any leather glues at the moment. But, you know, you've got to start somewhere. And I've enjoyed doing this very sort of simple circular pattern here. I'll get some nice detailed photographs of them and I'll put them on the screen sometime around now. What do you think of my first attempt at basic leather crafts? I've enjoyed it. I really do like the effects I've achieved. I do think maybe it would be a good idea for me to get some better punches and have a good look at more how-to videos. But for now, it's good to sort of dabble my toes, and I definitely think I'm going to be coming back to this in the future. Again, down in the comments, let me know how I did. And whilst you're there, of course, remember to tap that little subscribe button. And again, I hope you've enjoyed watching. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. See you then. Bye-bye.